Well, howdy ho, Stampers, and welcome back to my studio. This is Deb Valder, and today I'm going to show you how to do the Chalkboard Dauber Technique. I call it that because we're using chalkboard paper, we're going to use our sponge daubers, and we're going to use our chalk ink. It is just a beautiful technique, and I've been playing a lot with this chalkboard paper and absolutely love it. You'll see that these two look a little bit different. This one is a little bit more muted, and the one I'm going to show you today is more vibrant. It just shows up better, and it just kind of pops a little bit more than this one. This one is beautiful, but so is this one. Just a little bit different looking. So let's get started. I'm going to show you right from the very beginning how to cut your paper and how to just put this whole card together, because it's just an absolutely gorgeous card, if I do say so myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by showing you our chalkboard paper, and this is it right here. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We've got, I call it the greasy side. It just feels a little bit more greasy than this side over here. So this is more cardboardy, more paperish. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. There is a right and a wrong side to this paper if you're going to use chalk ink on it. If you're just going to use regular black paper, just grab your black cardstock. But I'm also going to show you how to maximize this. Along with this paper, we're going to be using our chalkboard inks, our chalk box inks right here, and they come in 3 different colors. Today I'm just going to use 2 of them. I'm going to use the gold color one, which is called yellow citrus, and I'm going to use the pink one, which is called rose coral. I'm not going to use the aquamarine, but I will show you a card that I've done with that one, and I added it to the list of my colors. I'm also going to be using our Kraft White Ink, and that's because I use this as a base. Now remember, I told you that there was a difference between these 2 cards, and that is the difference, the white Kraft ink. So you'll see where that comes into play. And then let me just start by showing you how I cut this piece of paper to maximize it. So I took one of our sheets of cardstock and I cut it down to, I believe it was 4.5 by 3.5, but I'll have all the measurements on my blog. So this piece right here I believe is 4.5 by 3.5, and then I took my cutter, and this is what I love to do, is to save our paper. So I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to put this end onto the 1/4 inch mark. If you don't have one of our Stampin' Up! Cutters, you really need to get onto my website and purchase one, because they are the best out there. This whole piece right over here is just a huge lifesaver. And then just all of the functionality of it, the lines don't go away. It's just an amazing cutter. Okay, enough said about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this down so I get a frame out of it. And my frame is going to look like this. I do this with most all of my paper. So I want to just get a frame out of it that looks like this. Now you can make yourself a template like this and just put it on your cardstock and just trace around it and then cut it. But it's just so much easier if you learn how to do it this way, because it is easy. Just think of 1/4 inch, okay? Because that's what we're going to work in, 1/4 inch increments. So I'm just putting this on the 1/4 inch mark, which is this one right here, and then I'm going to start it down 1/4 inch. So let me just show you. I'll put this in here because it's easier to see on light paper. So I'm actually going to put this, oh, that's my scoring one. I'm going to put my cutter onto the 1/4 inch mark right here. All right, do you see that right there? And then I'm going to cut it all the way down and stop it 1/4 inch from the end, which is right here at the 4.5 inch mark. Okay, so let me just measure this piece of paper. This one is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, I told you 4.5, I believe, but it's 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make our little window frame. So I'm going to go down to the 1/4 inch mark right here, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to stop it at the 1/4 inch mark. So or at the 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/4 inch. I'm sorry. So I started it at the 1/4 inch mark up here, and I stopped it at the 1/4 inch mark down here. Then I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to do the same thing this way. I'm going to line it up at the 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to start it at the 1/4 inch, and I'm going to stop it at the 1/4 inch. Right? And see how that lines up right there? I'm going to do the same on this side, 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, and you see how everything just kind of works its way in? And then I'm going to turn it. And like I said, it's easier on light cardstock, but if you can do it on black, you're really cooking here. And then all you do is you just pop this out. And I did that 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch. Now remember, there's our frame. We're going to use that. This is the piece that we're going to work on. And then I did it also with this one right here. So let me just show you our layers. We're going to have our card base. Then we're going to have our black frame. I did it with the, this piece right here, I did it with that one. That's just a 1/4-inch frame. And then this one just goes right over the top. You see our layers right here? They're the same layers that I have right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do this part of it right here. So I'm going to take a few things. All right, let me just move my cutter here. Let me just show you in our catalog, we have, in our occasions catalog for 2015, I have a couple of pieces that I'm going to be using. This is the Artisan Embellishment Kit, and it's on page 27, and it's got some of the most gorgeous things in it. One of the things that we're going to be using is this little laser cut piece, and some of the embellishments, but they're just absolutely gorgeous. I'm also going to be using, like I told you, the chalkboard paper, and that's on page 25, along with the chalkboard inks right here. One last thing that we're going to be using on page 43, we have the white jute ribbon, and I'm going to show you something really cool with the white jute ribbon that we're going to be doing. So this is a class that I'm doing. This is my August stamp of the month, or I'm sorry, August, good grief. This is my March Stamp of the Month class. This is one of the cards that you're going to be doing in that class, and it's just a beautiful class. It's very Victorian, very vintage, so make sure you check out my website for the class, how much it is and what you have to do to be eligible for the entire class. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these. You get 2 in your embellishment kit, and I'm just going to take one of them and use it as a stencil. Now, I have in my class, I have some other cards that I've done with these, but I want to show you what I did. This is what it looks like. It's white on one side, and it is a Sahara sand or a crumb cake on the other side. And on this one, so that's it, just plain. And you can use it just plain, but what I did was I wanted to save this because I just have made so many of this exact same card that I wanted to kind of preserve this a little bit and be able to wash it off. So what I did with this right here was I put some Versamark ink on it, and then I put cherry cobbler embossing powder on it, and I did that 2 times, and it just made it much stiffer, easier to wash off, and it's not going to disintegrate. So this one is actually embossed, and it didn't do it to make it look pretty, even though it does. I did it so that I could preserve it. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't want to. Emboss it. You can still use it with just your plain laser cut thing. And then you can use this afterwards because you see how beautiful that is? So what I did was I kind of centered this onto my cardstock, and then I'm just going to use some washi tape. Washi tape is sold in our catalog, and I just love it. It is actually removable tape. So what I did was I just lined this up so it's nice and even, and then put my tape on the corners, making sure that I don't touch any of the laser cuts. Now remember, this is movable tape, so it doesn't matter what you stick it to because it's going to come off. Okay, and then I'm just going to line it up, make sure it's nice and straight, because we are going to use this frame. You see this right here? This is the actual frame from the outside of this laser cut right here. So now I'm just going to take this, lay it down, and one more side. And that's just to hold it while I'm working on it. Good. All right, now the next thing that I need are some sponge daubers. And they come in a pack of 5. They're in our catalog. They come in a pack of 5. And what I do is I actually take and put the name of the dauber that I'm using. I put the name on it, and then I save these so that each dauber, each dauber has a color. And I use that just for citrus yellow. So let me just, here's my Whisper White ink one right here. See, I labeled that one. And that's what we're going to do first. We're going to take this. Now, let me remind you, this one is different than this one. This one's more muted. When you use your chalk inks onto your chalkboard paper, they kind of soak into the paper a little bit, so they don't give it that bright, bright, bright look. Remember, if you do this with the white underneath it, do you see the difference, how the color pops more than it does here? And that's just a personal preference. I love both of them. One of them looks more vintagey than the other, but they're just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cards. So I'm going to take my white Kraft ink, and I'm gonna dauber this. Now there's a difference between daubering, and burnishing. We're gonna sponge with this, okay? We're gonna take and we're just going to sponge this. You don't want to do this hard because this is very delicate. So what I'm doing is just sponging. Now when this dries, it will take a while to dry, but you can take and use your heat gun, but you don't have to. And I say that because I just re-ink my stamp pads. You might pick up a little bit of ink on your stamp pads, but it's a gorgeous look. But like I said, you can take and use your heat gun to dry it in between, but you don't have to have them dry in between. I think that's what I'm trying to say. All right. Just going to finish daubering up here. You see how pretty that is? It just looks like a satin white. So when we're all done, there we go. I'm going to take this off. And like I said, to dry it, I would just hit it with my heat gun. So I'm done with my white. I'll get that out of the way. Let me just take this off and show you what it looks like. See what I mean about the removable tape? It doesn't really stick to anything. That's what's so nice about this washi tape. There's so many uses for it. Oh, and you want to see, I can show you how to fix a mistake. You want to be careful when you're sponging that you don't go outside of the lines. Let me go grab something real quick. These are just some wet ones. And believe it or not, if you go outside the lines, no one's going to yell at you, but you can actually take and wipe this off just like that. You can erase it. I got a little spot over here also. So I'm just going to erase that. So I'm going to set this one aside to dry. And I have been making these all week, actually. I have a bunch of dry ones. So this is what it looks like when it's dry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm going to put my my template back on. And it's very, very easy to line back up. I'm just going to take and put my template back on. And I'm going to run it with my yellow next. Okay? Here we go. And like I said, you don't have to have it dried in between, but you want to be very careful that your colors don't mix together, meaning I have white on here. If I started daubering it with the citrus yellow, you might be getting citrus yellow into the white. So this one's been dried for a while. Depending on what colors you want, you can take and you can put a lot of yellow, you can put a little bit of yellow and keep some of the white, which is what I'm going to do. I like to keep some of the white in there, and I'm going to outline the I'm just going to outline the outside of the flowers with the yellow and the inside with the pink. Okay, so let's take a look at that one. And that's all there is to it. You see how fast this is? You know me and getting stuff done fast. I love, love, love fast. So let's take this one off. Now I would let this dry, and I usually do about 10 to 20 at a time. So what I would do is I would do all of the whites first and set them aside, let them dry or hit them with the heat gun. Then I would do all of my yellows, and it's just a matter of putting this thing on and off. That's it. But see, there's the yellow. Now I need to set that one aside to let it dry, and that's beautiful all by itself, just like the white one was. So here's the white one, here's the yellow one with a little bit of white in there. All right, let me just take one that's dry. Here's a dry one, and we're going to take and put our template back on and finish it up. So I'm just going to take and lay this on the top like this, just like I did it the last time. Line it back up. And here we go. And now I'm going to use the pink. Now I will say that if you re-ink these, if you buy the chalk ink pads, I would say to get the re-inker along with it, because you don't want these to dry out. If they dry out, they're no good until you re-ink them. But you really do want the re-inkers, and I re-ink mine quite often. So this one right here, I'm just going to put a little bit of pink in each one of the middles of these. Now you see I'm not burnishing it or rubbing it, because for two reasons. You don't want this to bend, or you don't want it to get underneath it. And they're so delicate that they could very well get underneath, and you don't want that to happen. All right, remember, if you go outside the lines, you just take one of your wipes and wipe it back up. That's the beauty of this. I mean, this chalkboard paper, do not be afraid of this chalkboard paper. It is so much fun to play with. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to take that one, put my chalks aside, and set this aside to dry, but I want you to see what it looks like. Make sure I don't have any mistakes that I need to wipe off. And I can reuse this washi tape again and again and again along with the template. So I'm going to set both of those. Isn't that beautiful? They just come out so gorgeous. It's kind of like pearlized, just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so there's that one right there. I'm going to set this someplace where it doesn't get wet on. Okay, so here's one that I have that's dry, and we're just going to put the whole thing together. Now you'll notice that I have a little bit of a mistake right there. It's okay, because that's where you're going to take and you're going to fix it with your embellishments. Okay, so I'm going to take my base card, which is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to take my first frame right here. I need to go grab my silicone mat because I need to use my fast fuse onto this one. All right, so I'm just going to take and add a little bit of fast fuse right here. You can do this with mini glue dots. You can do this with just about anything. I just like my fast fuse these days. And I'm putting it, as you notice, toward the inside of this, and that's why I'm using my my silicone mat, because I want to make sure that it doesn't stick out on the outside here. Alrighty, so let's just center that piece. And then I'll grab my next color, do the same exact thing. This is only 1 inch wide, so my fast fuse is going to be just a little bit bigger, and that's why I'm gluing on the inside of it. And you can use whatever adhesive that you want on this. It's only 1/4 inch difference, so you don't have to hit it all the way down. And this one's going to go right over the top of this one. See how much paper I'm saving by cutting those out? I love doing that. And then this piece right here, see, this black piece is the piece that I used for this. But this piece right here I can save for another card. I've already got a card base already cut out. And then last, I'm just going to take and I'm going to use this. So now what I need to do is just take, well, I want to take the one that I made a mistake on because I want to show you, not a mistake, it just kind of blurred a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and turn that over, add my fast fuse to that, and let's see, I'm going to put that one up in this upper corner right here. And here we go. Alrighty, now what we need to do is add our embellishments. Whoops, did I not do that one side? Let's see here. Here we go. Much better. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take in our embellishments. Now for this one right here, what I did was inside that kit, let me just show you that embellishment kit. You've got your stencil or your laser cut piece right here. I wish they sold those by the pack. We've got 2 of our doilies. These are doilies that are smaller than the ones that we sell in the book. We've got a bag of embellishments that are absolutely gorgeous. We've got a bunch of different kinds of ribbon, and then we've got these little rosettes that are colored which matches a lot of our papers and whatnot. So let me just I took 2 of these rosettes and just cut them off. And then I'm just going to take some mini glue dots and put them on the back of them. You can use your multi-purpose adhesive glue. I just love my glue dots for this. Okay, and then I'm just going to take one more and put it on the other flower. And then we're going to cover up that one little spot that I just didn't like. Okay, and that's the nice thing about this, is that you can cover up anything that you like or dislike. So there's that piece right there. I'm going to go grab a wipey so that I can, a little hand wiper, so that I can take off this right here. It's just like a chalkboard. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is to take, and I told you I was going to show you how to do this little bow right here. This is our jute ribbon right here. It's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And what I did was I took my craft scissors and I just cut up to 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 of these. So what you would do is just cut it up to the length that you want, and you don't have to use the big whole thing. All right, and I'm just going to cut it off, and then I just tied it in a bow and separated it like this, and that just gives you another option for using that big jute ribbon. So I'm just going to take another mini glue dot, add it to that one, and we're done. There we go. Isn't that pretty? It's just a great little technique. Absolutely gorgeous technique. And it's not hard to do, as you can see. You can see the difference between the two of them, I do believe. I hope you can. This one is more muted. This one is a little bit more pop. It just pops. It's more vibrant. And that's because the white is underneath it. So this is part of my March Stamp of the Month class. If you'd like it, hop on over to my blog. At the very top, it tells you about the stamp of the month and what's current. If you look down and you see some are sold out, they're sold out. Some of them I still have, so I think I have a few left for January and maybe a few for February. I'm not sure. Just check my blog, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, and thank you for stopping by.